Joining us now, White House correspondent for Bloomberg News, Shannon Pettypiece, and New York Times reporter Jeremy Peters. Let's start with Jeremy and the Alabama Senate race. Jeremy, was the president saying something that might resonate with voters in Alabama, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, especially the subset of conservatives, very loyal, fervent voters who are inclined to support Roy Moore when he's saying that you have to listen to the judge. Trump, I'm told himself, does not believe the allegations against these women. Remember, this is a president who's himself been accused of similar types of inappropriate activity with women, so he's just kind of naturally inclined to condemn the accusers and take their side rather than to actually believe them, which is, of course, contradicting what his daughter said the other day. So in one fell swoop, you kind of have Trump coming out and contradicting his daughter and Mitch McConnell in saying, no, you gotta listen to Judge Moore.
So did he really contradict his daughter? Because I thought Ivanka's statement stopped short of really talking about Roy Moore. I think it was just the best she could do to not talk about Roy Moore and take something that someone else said and just repeat it verbatim. She has not spoken out on this in a passionate, authentic way, has she? What did I miss?
No, I just think the two statements are inconsistent. I think that Ivanka saying you have to believe these women, you know, that women are cherished, and that they essentially there's a special place in hell, I think she said, for the abusers of women like this. And here Trump is saying nothing like that. He's saying, well, the judge denies it, and you got to listen to the judge. And these allegations have never come up before. He's casting doubt on the veracity of these allegations. So yeah, I just think they're inconsistent.
Is there Shannon, I know we're going to be talking about the defense fund for and the paying of the legal bills, but is there, Susan or Shannon, a women's advocate in the White House?
The interesting thing is that there are a lot of strong, powerful women in this White House. Kellyanne Conway, Hope Hicks, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, obviously Ivanka Trump, Dina Powell. This White House.
The last one, I agree with you, but I don't agree with the first four. I don't think they're strong or powerful or tell the truth or stand up for women in any way.
Well, as far as standing up for women, I can't go there, but I will say Hope Hicks is a lot more powerful than a lot of people give her credit for. She is very influential in this White House and the messaging. The president trusts her, and she's one of his few allies left, so I would point out her. Kellyanne, the president also trusts very much. He keeps her very close, trusts her opinion. She's someone who's been in campaign politics for a long time.
Whether or not they have power over Trump,
right?
Which is whatever, his inner circle. They all, I guess, have a certain power because they are there around the president. But as advocates for women,
right,
who speak passionately, authentically, and with their own voices on behalf of women of the United States of America,
they have not used their power to that extent. Probably Ivanka to the most extent.
And how?
Well, and as we can see how the outcome of this came and how it was Kellyanne who was the one who went out on Fox and Friends and laid the groundwork for this. At this point, it is no one, because the president has not come out and condemned Roy Moore, even though there are powerful women in that White House.
Yes, but they don't work for the White House. They're not working for the country. They all serve one person, and that's Donald Trump. Exactly. And that's the difference, if anything, is that they're not working for the White House and all the people in this country. They're working for Donald Trump and they are sycophants to him.
And that was my question. Who is the advocate for women in the White House? Because it's not the president.
Well, I don't know.
That we know.
There are very few people in the White House who aren't just advocates for Donald Trump right now. That's who he's chosen to surround himself with.
Shannon, my reporting out of the White House, even in the last 24 hours, is that some of the people you've just laid out are appalled by Roy Moore. I believe that's true, but if it's true, why haven't any of those views prevailed on the President of the United States? If Hope Hicks and Kellyanne and all the people you laid out are disgusted and appalled by Roy Moore, why did he walk out in front of the cameras yesterday and say, he denies it?
Well, if you take the argument that Kellyanne made on Fox, that we don't want a Democrat in there. In this razor-thin margin, we need someone who is going to be on our side, who's going to be anti-abortion, who's going to repeal Obamacare, who's going to help us pass taxes. That was the argument they made.
Kellyanne did say a few days ago, no Senate seat is worth a child. So she made that clear, that she didn't think putting Roy Moore in would be a good idea, because you don't do that for a child. But then 2 days ago, that changed to let's get it.
And there is also a sense in the White House that regardless of people's opinions, they'll debate behind the scenes, but Trump is the president. And he is the one who gets the final call on these things.
And I just have to ask one thing, Mika. Do you think any of those women would allow Roy Moore to babysit their children?
Oh, my God. Bring your daughter to work day? No. Jeremy, jump in.
No, I was just going to say I have another answer to follow up Shannon's answer, which is dead on. It certainly is about having that Republican vote. It's also about the Republican majority. If you lose that seat to a Democrat, if you're Republicans, you have to win either Nevada or Arizona, which right now look pretty tough. And the map is already looking difficult for Republicans. I mean, it's their advantage still, but likely that they could lose the Senate if things go badly with this tax cut, if the Russia investigation worsens next year, and it's a bigger headache and an albatross around Republicans' necks. So there's that factor as well. But I think also what people aren't talking about, and this is a little short-sighted, Roy Moore is no more reliable a Republican vote than Doug Jones. You just don't know what the guy is going to do. And if I were Mitch McConnell or Republican leadership, who are saying right now quietly that it's better to have a Republican in that seat than a Democrat, I don't think that I would count Roy Moore on your team.
Yeah. Shannon, you're writing about the Trump campaign not paying Don Jr.'s legal bills anymore. Well, first of all, how much were they? And tell us what's behind the story.
So the Trump campaign had paid out about $300,000 so far for Don Jr.'s legal bills. There's likely we'll find out more in the filings. And there is a concern. The Trump campaign is not a super PAC. They can only raise a certain amount of money between now and 2020. That he and other staffers were going to be a major drain on the Trump campaign's funds. Yeah. Same thing with the RNC. The RNC had paid over $200,000 in President Trump's legal bills. The RNC is no longer paying his legal bills. And as the White House has said, and Ty Cobb has come out and said that this investigation should be wrapped up soon, maybe early next year. Our sources indicate it will go well into 2018. So we're looking at millions and millions in legal bills.
And a fund for campaign staffers? So is being set up?
Yes. So there's two discussions going on right now. One, a fund or multiple funds for campaign staffers. Another, funds or multiple funds for White House staffs.
And what would they
to
need
help them pay their legal fees. So there are dozens of staffers in the campaign in the White House who have, minimum of $30,000 for one interview with Mueller in legal fees is what the average is. The big question on the table is whether the president will be able to contribute to any of those. And that is still on the table. There is no decision that has been made yet, but that is something that is being considered and obviously comes with an enormous ethical question about whether someone at the center of investigation giving money to witnesses in an investigation is a conflict of interest.
Is this really what you have to ask yourself if you work in the White House? Like, do you really want to work there? Would you? I can't even imagine. This is just a mess. Shannon Pettypiece, thank you so much. It's great to have you on the show. Jeremy Peters, stay with us if you can. Coming up, two things Republicans care about deeply: debt and tax cuts. But are they willing to sacrifice the first to satisfy the second? That conversation is next on Morning Joe.